Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Ask you please stand for the pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item we have is a public hearing. Local law adopted a second extension of the Town of Cornwall Development Moratorium Law of 2018. Read the notice. Notice of public hearing. Please take notice the Town Board of the Town of Cornwall will hold a public hearing on the 12th day of November 2019 at 7 o'clock p.m. at Town Hall, 183 Main Street, Cornwall, New York. On a proposed local law of the year 2019 entitled "The Local Law Adopting a Second Edition of the Town of Cornwall Development Moratorium Law of 2018. The purpose of this local law is to enable the town to prevent the submission and processing of any applications for land use approvals within the town for a reasonable period, for a reasonable time pending the town board's completion and adoption of an update to the plan and applicable zoning regulations. It is further the purpose of this local law to fulfill the town's constitutional, statutory, and legal obligations to protect and preserve the public health, welfare, and safety of the citizens of the town, as well as to protect the value, use, and enjoyment of property in the town by temporarily prohibiting the submission and processing of applications for land use approvals within the town. A copy of the proposed local law is on file in the office of the town clerk and available for inspection by interested persons during town clerk's business hours. Town board will, at the above date, time, and place, hear all persons interested in the subject matter hereof. Persons may appear in person or by agent. All written communications addressed to the board must be received by the board at or prior to the public hearing by order of the Town Board, Town of Cornwall, Renata McGee, Town Clerk, dated November 5th, 2019. We declare the public hearing open. Anyone wishing to speak on the proposed local law? Hearing no one, is a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Move second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Plum? Yes. Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next, we have approval of minutes, October 7, 2019, special meeting, October 10, 2019, special meeting, October 15, 2019, regular meeting, October 16, 2019, budget work session, October 18, 2019, bid opening. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Move second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Plum? Yes. Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Public comment, agenda items. Anyone wishing to speak on any item? Hearing none, what I'd like to do, just deviate from the agenda before us tonight. We had a recent town election, and we have a vacancy on the board. And at this time, I would like to entertain a motion to appoint Virginia Scott to fill the vacant position on the board.
So moved.
Second.
Move second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Plum? Yes. Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Virginia, come on up. Congratulations. Join the board. She can, yeah. Come on, Virginia. Welcome to the board. I know it won't take you long to get up to speed. You've been attending the work sessions and the meetings and all, so we welcome you. Okay, first item on the agenda is a resolution adoption of the second extension development moratorium law of 2018. Whereas heretofore the town board has considered the adoption of a local law entitled "A Local Law Adopting a Second Extension to the Town of Cornwall Development Moratorium Law of 2018. Whereas following due notice, the town board held a public hearing on the proposed local law. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. 1, the town board determines that the adoption of this local law is a type 2 action under SECRA. 2, that the town board does hereby adopt the above local law, which said local law shall be effective immediately. And 3, said local law shall be published, posted, and filed in the Office of the Secretary of State in Albany as required by applicable law. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second? Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Scott? Yes. Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Plum? Yes. Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next, as you know, we had the public hearing on the proposed zoning amendment. I think it was on October 10th. and we had left the public hearing open for 30 days, and what I'd like to do now is entertain a motion to continue the public hearing as open for the zoning amendment for an additional 30 days. Is there a motion?
Well, so
Oh,
now
go ahead.
that would be, today is the 12th, so that would be December 12th. Let's make sure that that's actually a weekday. I'm sorry, Dick, I should have looked into this
12th?
earlier.
It's a Friday.
It's a
Is
Friday?
it a Friday or a Thursday?
That's
Right
a-
behind you.
it's a Friday.
Okay.
No, it's a Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
It's a Thursday.
A Thursday, so we'll continue it on the Thursday then, is that the idea, or do you wanna, is there a regular town board meeting that perhaps?
Well, we have the regular meeting would be on the 9th.
Mhm.
So why don't we extend
Make it through December 9th?
I think that would be just more convenient for them, unless you have a special meeting for it.
No, I think that's, well, we could extend it on the 9th. If we say we're gonna leave it open to
You
the 12th.
could, yeah, you could
Yeah.
either go to the 9th and hold a continued public hearing then, or if you feel you need to extend it further. But if you wanna hold the public hearing, continue it, you're gonna wind up with a special meeting on the,
Oh, you're talking about the moratorium?
no, I'm talking about the public hearing on the zoning.
Well, we're gonna keep it open for another 30 days.
Right, but if you keep it open, there's gonna come a point where, of course, you have to hold it.
Right.
And you can either hold it on the Thursday, which would be fine if you want to hold a special meeting, or we could schedule it for, I believe, the 9th we said would be the regular meeting.
Correct.
So you'd have your regular meeting, you'd say, all right, it's a continued public hearing on the local law, and then if you want to adjourn it further, you adjourn it further. If you want to take input, you take input, you do what you want.
That's fine.
That's what I would do.
So you wanna do it through the 9th?
That's
of
what
December?
I'd recommend.
All right,
Okay.
so,
I'll make a motion as amended.
it's to December 9th.
Yes.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Further discussion?
Yeah, what's the purpose of it, of extending an additional 30 days?
Well, you get more input, and you would allow, people to speak when you actually hold and presumably close, or continue, whatever it is you want to do, your public hearing. You had a public hearing, you didn't close the public hearing, you have to take further action on the public hearing at some point. Presumably, if you're gonna set it for a date, that's what you would do, you
So
decide what you're
it
doing.
currently expires this Friday, right?
Today, I believe, actually, would be the
Today.
date that,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt, it just keeps it open while we haven't taken any action on the zoning. It keeps it open if there are any comments that are submitted. Be on the record. Roll call vote.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt? Yes. Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Okay, so- For the raw press drainage, there should be an engineer's letter. This is it. Hold on. Okay, next item is on Laurel Crest Park drainage and site improvements. We went out to bid on the work. We have a $140,000 legislative grant through Senator Larkin. The bids were open on the 18th of October, and the bids came in much higher than the $140,000 that we had hoped for. Butler Construction, $324,411.65. And then Ian Callahan, $342,801.25. Boyce Excavating, $403,470. And Malum Enterprises, $470,000. The engineer submitted a letter to the board based on the review of the scope of the work proposal submitted. It's our opinion that the bid values are unreasonable based on current construction costs. Based on the above, is recommended that the town of Cornwall reject all bids for the project. Is there a motion to reject all bids?
So moved.
Second.
Move second, discussion, roll call.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt? Yes. Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next is a resolution on the Festival of Hanukkah, the menorah. It's an annual request we get from Rabbi Sarah Bernansky. Whereas the town board of the town of Cornwall has received a request from Rabbi Sarah Bernansky of Chabad of Eastern Orange County to place a 6-foot to 8-foot menorah on the town hall park grounds for the Festival of Hanukkah. And whereas Rabbi is further requesting the use of Munger Cottage on Sunday, December 22nd, 2019 at 4:00 p.m. for a Hanukkah celebration for the community. Whereas the town board has considered the request from the rabbi, therefore be it resolved as follows. The town board hereby grants the request of the rabbi of the Shabbat of Eastern Orange County to place a 6 to 8 foot menorah on Town Hall Park grounds. The specific location will be approved by the town supervisor or superintendent of building and grounds for a period of time between December 22nd, 2019 and January 2nd, 2020, subject to the following. 1, a statement of the date the display will be erected and the date it will be removed. 2, an executed hold harmless agreement waiver. And 3, proof that Shabbat of Eastern Orange County has liability insurance covering its activities in erecting the proposed display and naming the town of Cornwall as an additional insured. Be it further resolved, the town board hereby grants the request of the Shabbat of Eastern Orange County to use Munger Cottage on Sunday, December 22nd, 2019 at 4:00 p.m. for a Hanukkah celebration for the community. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second? Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next is a letter from the Cornwall Lions Club requesting permission for the Lions Club to conduct their wreath and roping sales on Town Hall property as they did last year. They'll be selling wreaths and roping for a total of 4 weekends, last weekend in November and the first 3 weekends in December. As you know, Lions Club is very active in our community in keeping with our motto, we serve. We also donate a substantial amount of money to charities and organizations. Of course, in order to give away money, we must first make it. The selling of wreaths at Christmas time is only one of several fundraisers we conduct annually. By changing our venue from selling wreaths from Main Street to the Town Hall parking lot a few years ago, we were much more successful with our sales. Hopefully we'll be even more financially successful with our endeavor this year. Very much appreciate the Town Board's consideration. Sincerely, Phil Cameron. Is there a motion to approve the request?
So moved.
Second.
Move second. Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Just want to mention that there will be a meeting on the draft Cornwall open space inventory. There's a lot of work that's gone into this project for a period of time, and it's a project that's well worth the effort. It's going to be beneficial to the community from a planning standpoint. The meeting is going to be held on Tuesday, November 19th at 7:00 p.m. at Munger Cottage. Both the DEC and John Behan of Behan Planning are available to attend. So we encourage everyone to attend to check on the status of the update, and hopefully that'll, I think it's nearing completion at this point. I have a resolution on the Village and Firthcliffe Heights water re-levy. These are the unpaid water bills for both the Village of Cornwall and Hudson water customers and the town's Firthcliffe Heights Water District. Whereas the town board has been presented with a list of unpaid water charges in the amount of $185,401.37. One owed by properties outside of the Village of Cornwall and Hudson receiving water from the Village of Cornwall and Hudson, and 2 owed by properties in the Firthcliffe Heights Water District. Whereas it's been requested that the town board adopt a resolution forwarding the list of property owners together with the unpaid charges to the County of Orange, requesting that the same be re-levied on the 2020 general tax bill. It being understood that when the town of Cornwall receives the taxes, including the unpaid water charges, the town will remit the unpaid water charges to the appropriate entity. Now therefore be resolved as follows, that after due consideration of the above request, the town board does hereby adopt this resolution, agreeing to forward the list of unpaid water charges listed by property owner to the County of Orange, together with the request that the aforesaid unpaid water charges in the amount of $185,401.37 be re-levied against the listed properties, and that the same appear on the 2020 general tax bill. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next item is a resolution on the setting the fees for the short-term rental registration and permit fees. I do want to mention, I don't believe we've heard back from the Secretary of State yet that the law's been filed. So as soon as that comes back, we'll be ready to move forward with the program. Whereas the Town of Cornwall annually approves a fee schedule for the building department for various permits and applications, whereas it is necessary to conduct periodic reviews of such fees to make sure that such fees are commensurate with the town's costs and expenses in processing applications and conducting inspections and issuing permits. Whereas the town has adopted local law number 3 of the year 2019, creating a new chapter 120 to the town code entitled Short-Term Rentals, STR. Whereas it appropriate for the town to revise the current fee schedule to include registration and permit fees for the STR applications. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. 1, the town board hereby sets the registration fee for STR applications at $25. 2, the town board hereby sets the STR permit fee at $100. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second? Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
No.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next is a resolution on the tax levy. This is for 40 Paradise Hill. This is the single-family residence that had been demolished by a tree in the town. Had to take it down due to the hazardous conditions that existed. So we are re-levying onto the taxes the total cost of that removal. Whereas heretofore the town building inspector advised an unsafe building exists at 40 Paradise Hill, section block and lot 36-1-19 in the town of Cornwall. Whereas the town board adopted an order directing that the building be demolished and removed, and that notice of the action be served upon the owner. Whereas a hearing before the town board was held pursuant to Chapter 72 of the Town Code on May 14, 2018. Whereas the property owner has not, as of this date, taken any action. Whereas the town proceeded with the demolition of the property and has incurred expenses in the amount of $70,456 for engineering fees, legal fees, and actual demolition and removal work. Whereas the town wishes to assess these charges against the property, and therefore be resolved as follows. 1, that all above expenses in the amount of $70,456 incurred by the town in connection with the said demolition and removal shall be assessed against the land on which the building is located, and shall be levied and collected in the same manner as provided in Article 15 of Town Law for the levy and collection of a special ad valorem levy. 2, the town assessor is hereby authorized and directed to take all action necessary for effecting the levy and collection of the town's said expenses. 3, the town board hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents in connection with the above. Is there a motion on the resolution? Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried.
What's our only hope of getting that money when we sell the property?
That would be for the county, yeah.
Mhm.
If it's sold, then they would. Next, I have a proposed intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Cornwall and Hudson. This pertains to a water bill back towards the end of the completion of Phase 1 at the Cornwall Sewer Plant. A large amount of water was necessary for a new specific operation, and as a result, there was a water bill in the neighborhood of $27,000 that ultimately KMO had to pay, but in discussions with the village, it's been agreed that the town would reimburse KMO for 2/3 of it. The amount may be spelled out in the agreement, and then the 1/3 the village would provide a credit to KMO for that, because this was outside the normal usage that KMO would have had to been responsible for the normal operation of the plant. Since then, the process that required all that water, there was a system that was put in place that actually uses water that goes through the sewer plant rather than using potable water from the village system. So that was just, it was a one-time occurrence that we had. Whereas the town of Cornwall has before an intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Cornwall and Hudson to provide KMO Pollution Control, Inc. with a credit on future water bills in connection with this operation of the Cornwall Sewer Plant. Whereas the town wishes to enter into said agreement to allow credit to KMO for water charges incurred and a one-time upgrade to the Cornwall Sewer Plant rather than from customary water usage by KMO. Whereas the town has reimbursed KMO for 2/3 of the water bill, and under the terms of the agreement, the village has agreed to offset the remaining 1/3 by providing a credit to KMO on future water bills. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. 1, town board does hereby agree to enter into said intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Cornwall and Hudson, which agreement is annexed here too. 2, the supervisor is authorized to execute the same on behalf of the town. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Scott? Yes. Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next item, memo from the Highway Superintendent, surplus equipment, undersigned, requests the following be declared surplus to the town of Cornwall, 1995 giant leaf vacuum. This was replaced by a new leaf vac that we purchased this year. Is there a motion to approve the surplus?
So moved.
Second.
Move second, discussion, roll call.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. I have a resolution on the new communication system that the County of Orange is putting in place for all the emergency services throughout the county, and the resolution to authorizing me to sign the agreement with the county. It's a multi-million project that the county has taken on to upgrade the communications and equipment for emergency services throughout the county. Whereas the town of Cornwall has received a public safety emergency radio communications system interoperability agreement, Cornet, between the County of Orange and the town of Cornwall, whereas the town wishes to enter into said agreement, which will greatly improve interoperable communications among first responders. Now therefore be resolved as follows. 1, town board does hereby agree to enter into the Cornet agreement and accept the equipment being provided by the county. And 2, that the supervisor is authorized to execute said annexed agreement on behalf of the town. Is there a motion on the resolution?
Moved.
Second? Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next item, we had the new roof put on the police station, the annex, and now we want to go ahead, we're going to replace the carpeting in that area, and also Tommy's in the process of replacing some of the ceiling tiles. He obtained 3 quotes for the carpeting, one from Spar Flooring for $7,357, Affordable Floors, $6,902, and Carpet Guys USA, $10,241.95. There's a difference between the low price and the next lowest price, Spar. Even though they're $400 some higher, Spar will move all the furniture out and replace it, and Affordable said that they don't have the ability to do that. So it really is important. When we did the town hall, we did have the agreement that would take all the furniture out. I mean, some of it's tight quarters with file cabinets and desks and everything. So the superintendent is recommending that we accept the price from Spar of $7,357, which includes the installation plus moving of the furniture. The motion to approve?
So moved.
Or second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Scott? Yes. Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next item, we have we received a legislative grant from Senator Larkin for $60,000 to replace the generator at Town Hall. The current generator actually just supplies power to the police department, and given the frequency of the loss of power and all, that we really feel it's essential to have a generator that will supply the entire town hall so that we can operate in times of emergencies. And we went out to bid. We had 3 bids that were submitted. Letter from the engineer indicates Gentech Limited, $93,333. Hudson Valley EC&M, $107,444, and Ray S. Pantel, Inc., $115,000. And while this is an amount that's higher, it is something that the town has to move ahead with, so we have some additional capital money that we can use to make up the difference. And this new generator will be much larger, take up more of the area that's out there, and so the engineer recommends that Gentech, we accept the bid from Gentech for $93,333. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Second.
Move second, discussion. No, I get the resolution here. We all know what it is. It is a roll call. I've explained it in detail, better than the resolution.
Well, no,
Ms.
it's
Scott? Yes.
pretty good.
Mrs.
No
Gibbons?
offense.
Yes.
Ms. Bug?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Just to note, that generator, I think, was installed in 1993,
Mhm.
so we've certainly benefited from a quarter of a century of it. Next, we have a report from Chase and Company's, the engineers that the town of Cornwall, village of Cornwall, Hudson, and the town and villages of Woodbury had retained Chase and Services to conduct monitoring of the Woodbury stream and some of the wells, private wells that are in the area there. And this monitoring's been taking place for a little over 2 years. And the first 2 summers were extremely wet, unusually wet. And this past summer has been more of a dry season that we typically see. So the engineer put together a status report evaluating the results of the monitoring that we have done, and has submitted that to the DEC. And primarily, we're raising it in the interest not to make any statements other than the fact that when the public hearing was held on the Carriage Joel Wells in Mountainville, I think it was in 2014, see, it was right
I
around there.
believe it was 24.
24.
Yeah. And there was considerable testimony from experts as to the impact that drawing 612,000 gallons of water a day from the aquifer could have on the Woodbury stream and potentially some of the private wells that were in the vicinity. And the results of the study from the engineer clearly indicate that the drawdown of the well is having an adverse effect directly on the Woodbury stream, and some drawdown on some of the immediate wells that we are monitoring in the area. So the engineer is suggesting that the DEC look at the data that we presented to them and ask them to consider a couple of things. One of the things that the DEC had said at the time was they required the village of Carriage Joel to monitor the stream for a 2-year period, which is now expired, and I think the request is to have them extend their monitoring. Also, that some limitations be put on the drawdown of the aquifer through the wells during the dry season to eliminate and alleviate any real pressure on the Woodbury stream. And so we really are hoping that DEC will take a close look at this to make some of these adjustments. And the third thing is the engineer is asking that the DEC more or less be emphatic that once the water pipeline is connected to the New York City aquifer, or excuse me, the pipeline, that the Mountainville well strictly be used as a backup well, which is what it was intended to be in the first place. It was never intended to be a primary well. So we have also looking to extend our monitoring for another year so that we can also pick up you know, the winter months, but also next summer to continue to see what effects the drawdown has. But the drawdown definitely has an effect on the stream, and also I think on the recovery of the aquifer for the reliance on that. So we're hoping DEC will take a serious look at this to make whatever adjustments have to be made in the permit that was issued to protect the environmental impacts that we could have, and also some of the private wells in the area. As I said, there's been some indication of some drawdown on some of the wells. No wells have gone dry. People have had the water and all, but their wells have dropped during the time that the Carriage Joel wells are actually drawing that 612,000 gallons. So it was good information we were hoping to get, and I think the engineer has done a great job in analyzing the results of the study. So we look to continue that. Next, November 30th, the Chamber is having a shop hop, I think it's called, visiting the various stores on Main
You
Street.
missed one,
You
yeah.
missed Bridge Street.
Oh, I missed Bridge Street. Let me go back to Bridge Street. Oh, I did miss that. I got chased. But let me talk about the shop hop. Just, it is quite a thing where people can go from shop to shop and they get a card and they can do it. But also, we just want to mention that the Historical Society in Town Hall here, they're going to be open during that event, as well as the Sands Ring Homestead. As a matter of fact, I think the Historical Society picked up some new members the last time that
Yeah,
they
they
had
were
the
active. yeah.
shop. So, it should be a good event. Next item then is going back to 16, the ecological solutions protection. We have the bridge rehab on Bridge Street, and one of the things we have to do is obtain the permit from the DEC. So we have to retain this company at a cost of $3,000. Whereas the town of Cornwall has received a proposal for Ecological Solutions LLC to provide New York State DEC permitting services for the Bridge Street Bridge repair replacement. Whereas Ecological Solutions proposes to provide the town with said wetland permitting services at a cost to the town of $3,000. And therefore, be it resolved as follows. One, that the town board does hereby agree to accept the Ecological Solutions proposal. Two, that the supervisor is authorized to execute said next proposal on behalf of the town. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Move second, discussion, roll call.
Ms. Scott? Yes. Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Two appointments, the first one to the Conservation Advisory Council. Jonathan Midler has a great background in conservation and that field with, and a great interest, I might add. He's very enthusiastic about participating, so I'd entertain a motion to appoint Jonathan Midler to a vacancy on the Conservation Advisory Council with a term to expire December 31st, 2020.
So moved.
Move second.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Ms. Scott? Yes. Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Second appointment is to the Economic Development Advisory Committee, Stephanie Tunick. Again, interested very much in economic development advisory, also interested in CAC. She's been attending some of their meetings and all, but looking forward to serving on the Economic Development Advisory Council. And I think all those come up, they all come up at the same time, I think, in December, I think through the end of this year.
I'm not sure.
Several little bit.
Yeah, so we'll plug that date, I think it is. And so a motion to approve Stephanie to Economic Development Advisory.
So moved.
Second.
Move second, discussion, roll call.
Ms. Scott? Yes. Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Committee reports, Councilwoman Bunt.
I just have the sewer committee and Camel reports that all the flows are within limits for the month in both Shore Road and Howard Street.
Okay. Anything else?
Is it?
Okay, Councilman Summerfield?
Carla's here to give the overview for the CCAC and nothing else.
Okay. Is there anything you want to?
Yep.
I'll say add to that, Carla, but you know.
Let's see, so, John and Stephanie were both at the, CAC meeting last night. And they will be following up on the recycling research that you had requested for the Main Street bins. Thank you for, announcing again the NHP unveiling on November 19th. We have, 5 open seats, I believe it is. Anyway, everybody who's on right now will be submitting, it is my understanding, their request for reappointment, with the exception of Mary Pearsall. So we'll be still with 2 open seats after
Okay,
that.
after Jonathan?
After Jonathan,
Okay.
2 open seats, yeah. And then we decided on holding another planning retreat in February, since we're through our first 2-year planning document, come December 2020.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Councilwoman Scott, but you don't have any committees yet, so.
Say something.
Make any comment that you would like to. Councilman McGinnis.
Building department for last month issued 31 permits
28 certificates of compliance, and 6 certificates of occupancy were issued. 1 demolition permit, 65 on-site inspections, 6 complaints investigated, 8 fire inspections, 4 signs removed. Permit fees, $5,052. Fees for municipal searches, 25 of them, totaling $7,500. 1 permit renewal for $100. New planning board project opened, 1, and none for the zoning board. The highway department did street sweeping townwide, completion of drainage project at Munger Cottage, completion of asphalt installation at Munger Cottage, completion of asphalt overlay leading to the playground parking lot, mill and cut keys in preparation for asphalt overlay at Kovac headquarters, completion of asphalt overlay at Kovac, and basin repair on Hidden Glen. That's all.
Okay, the police report from Chief Hazard. Calls for service 766, miles driven 7,754, total miles for 2019 as of the end of October 84,180 miles. Traffic and appearance tickets issued 52, parking tickets issued 16, motor vehicle accidents reported 41, arrests made 10, 9/11 hang-up misdial open line 6, alarm residential and business 43, ambulance requests 15, animal complaints 28, criminal mischief 1, disabled vehicles 9, domestic incidents 3, parking complaints 11, suspicious vehicle persons 22, house checks 7, assist other agencies 17. Okay. We have warrant number 11. Is there a motion on the warrant?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes, motion is carried. Public comment? Anything? Nancy?
I want to thank you for updating us on the Chase and Company's report. This whole scenario just exasperates me. Personally, we are on well. The people that live out in Mountainville, they don't even have access to municipal water. Should this continue to go on, I don't even know what would happen to everybody. Obviously, property values would go way down. Has that well even been monitored for what they're actually drawing, or that's a mystery to everybody? We're taking.
No, actually, we've done it twice. We foiled, the attorney foiled information. This last foil we did, I think we got about a year's
Yes.
reports. We turned them over to the engineer. They're now looking at cross-referencing the reports that have come in from Karis Joel on the monitoring and the usage and all. And so we are looking at it, and we're going to stay on top of it.
Yeah, the whole situation is truly just shameful, because for them to be able to draw from an aquifer that residents depend on to take that water someplace else is so unacceptable. I remember that public hearing, and I remember the people getting up there who lived in Mountainville who had no water coming out of their taps when they did the drawdown, which wasn't even to industry standard. So the whole, thank you for staying on top of it. Please continue to do that. This just needs to end, and because we don't need to get to the point like people who have lived in the Monroe area got to, where their wells were dry and they had tankers sitting in front of their house that didn't even work, and they had no access to water in the winter months. So thank you.
Right.
Please stay the course for this.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Can you give me the spelling of the two appointees' last names?
Yes. I can.
I can also, Midler is M-I-D.
Yeah, you got, Jonathan, right, Midler.
M-I-D-L-E.
M-I-D-L-E-R. And
Tunic.
Stephanie Tunic, S-T-E-P-H-A-N-I-E. Tunic is T-U-N-I-C. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Now entertain a motion to go into closed session to seek the advice of counsel.
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes, motion is carried. We will be coming out, we won't be in closed session that long. We'll be coming out to address number 19 on the agenda.
Will you jump down here or upstairs?
We'll come back in here.
Okay.
I can't, I got everything set up.
Yeah, that's
Okay, entertain a motion to return to open session from the closed session with seeking the advice of counsel. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Okay, I'll read the resolution. Whereas the town of Cornwall has received a proposal from Atu Group to provide guidance to the town for planning and zoning purposes for current and future market demand of age-restricted housing in the town. Whereas the Atu Group proposes to provide the town with said market study at a cost to the town of $15,000. And therefore be resolved as follows. 1, town board does hereby agree to accept the Atu proposal. 2, the supervisor is authorized to execute the said and next proposal on behalf of the town. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion, Steve, you want to make any comments, or?
This is a proposal that the town has received from a marketing group, which will assist the town in evaluation of the proposed zoning update.
Roll call?
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
I'm going to abstain. I don't have enough information to really say yes or no.
Okay.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Okay, board members have anything else before we close? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? Discussion, roll call?
Ms. Scott? Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Mr. Summerfield?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.